What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today we are bringing you 50 modern classic cocktails. We brought you 50 classic cocktails, and then you know what I thought to myself? We gotta bring you 50 modern classic cocktails. So hope you enjoy the episode, and I'm gonna stop talking because it's long enough as it is. All right, the Little Italy was created by Audrey Saunders around 2003, and it was created for the opening menu of the Pegu Club in New York City. Half an ounce of Cynar, 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth, and 2 ounces of Rittenhouse rye. We're gonna grab a larger rock and give it a nice crack. Give it a stir. It's very hard to over stir with ice that's just come out of the freezer. And we're gonna strain it. And we're gonna garnish with an Amaretto cherry here. We got these nice, the Fabry ones. So there it is, guys, the Little Italy. The Añejo Highball was created by Dale DeGroff in 1997 at the Rainbow Room in Rockefeller Center in New York City. 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1/2 ounce of dry curacao, and 1.5 ounces of Bacardi 8. Give it a good shake. And then what we're gonna do is take a little ginger beer here, and we're just gonna put it to the bottom of the glass so that it doesn't layer on the ice, and then strain our cocktail like so. We wanna make sure to add enough ice that it goes to the bottom of the glass here. Then we're gonna top it up with ginger beer, and to garnish with a lime twist, the Añejo Highball. The Kingston Negroni was created by New York City bartender Joaquin Simo at Death & Company for their spring menu in 2010. 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, 1 ounce Campari, and last but certainly not least, 1 ounce of Smith & Cross. Give it a nice stirry poo. Dilute to your preference. Just gonna finish this cocktail off with a nice orange twist. The Kingston Negroni. The Gin Basil Smash was created by Jörg Meyer at El Leon in Hamburg, Germany. Put a bunch of basil leaves in here, 6 to 8. 1 ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, and we're using a 1-to-1 simple, and 2 ounces of gin. We're gonna give this a nice pressy muddle. So we're gonna add some ice to our glass, add some ice to our tin, give it a nice shake, and strain it over our ice, and garnish with a healthy basil bouquet. The Gin Basil Smash. The Chartreuse Swizzle was created by Marco Dionysos in 2003. 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. And then we're gonna be doing 1 ounce of pineapple juice, 1/2 ounce of velvet falernum, and 1 1/4 ounces of green chartreuse. Add maybe 1 ounce of pebble into our tin and give it a whip shake. I'm just gonna pour it in like so. I'm just gonna top this up with pebble ice. Take a little pineapple, like so. And maybe a little lime wheel too. All right, and last but not least, we're just gonna put some of these guys in here to finish it off. The Chartreuse Swizzle. An intro to Aperol, it was created by a New York City bartender named Audrey Saunders. And this is a very good way to introduce people to bitter aperitivo liqueurs. 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 1/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 ounce of London dry gin, and 2 ounces of Aperol. Give this guy a nice hard shake for 8 to 10 seconds. And we're gonna double strain it into a coupe. Then for a garnish, we're gonna just do a lemon twist. The intro to Aperol. The Basil Gimlet was on the opening menu of a bar called Rye in San Francisco in the early 2000s. The cocktail was created by bar owner Greg Lindgren. We're gonna add 5 of our 6 basil leaves here. We're gonna give this a light muddle. Then we're gonna do 1 ounce of lime juice, 2 ounces of gin. We're using Junipero gin. Give it a nice hard 8 to 10 second shake. Double strain this into our glass like so. Garnish with a basil leaf like that. The Basil Gimlet. The Oaxaca Old Fashioned was created by New York City bartender Phil Ward in the early days of Death & Company. Couple dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 bar spoon of agave. And then we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of mezcal and 1.5 ounces of reposado tequila and give it a nice stir. What I like to do when I do flamed orange peels is if you peel with a peeler, it's very difficult to get enough pith on the back of that peeler to be able to get a nice flame. And so what I like to do is just cut a nice orange coin with a knife. So make sure you have a good amount of pith on the back so that you get a lot of oil, so that you get that nice big flame and a lot of that kind of caramelized orange flavor, which is what we're looking for. Up above the cocktail like so, and then squirt it, and then you can just put that coin right on top like that. The Oaxaca Old Fashioned. The Tommy's Margarita, created by Julio Bermejo at a restaurant called Tommy's in San Francisco. Cut a lime here. Run the lime wedge on the outside of the glass. I like to just have it on like 1/2 or 1/4 of the glass. Then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lightly roll it into our kosher salt here. And then into a shaker, we're gonna do 1 ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of agave, 1.5 ounces of reposado tequila, and give it a shake. And then give it a nice strain. And the traditional garnish for this particular drink is a lime wedge, the Tommy's Margarita. The white Negroni was created by a bartender named Wayne Collins while he was in Bordeaux, France to attend the Drinks International Cocktail Competition. 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce, Blanc Vermouth, 1.5 ounces of Plymouth Gin, and stir it down. Give this a nice lemon twist. The white Negroni. The Brancolada was created by a bartender named Jeremy Ortel at a bar in Brooklyn named Donna. 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice. If you want to use fresh pineapple juice, that is better. And then we're gonna do cream of coconut, 1 ounce. And we're gonna do 1/4 ounce of orange juice, and then 1 ounce of Brancamenta, and 1 ounce of Appleton Signature. All right, give it a nice shake. And then we're just gonna dump it straight into our glass like so, fill with pebble, and then we're just gonna do a little mint sprig. Give it the old slappy poo, crushy pants it, and then find a spot. And this is where our orange slice comes in, the Brancolada. The Slope was created in 2009 by New York City area bartender Julie Reiner for her bar, the Clover Club. This particular cocktail was named after Park Slope, which is the Brooklyn neighborhood she was living in at the time. 1 dash of Angostura bitters, 1/4 ounce of apricot liqueur. We're gonna do 3/4 ounce of Punta Mess and 2.25 ounces rye whiskey. You wanna make sure you have a nice bit of ice in your mixing glass, so we are gonna stir this approximately 45 seconds, and then we're just going to strain into our cocktail glass or Nick and Nora, add a cherry, boop it right down into the cocktail, the Slope. The Art of Choke was created by Chicago area bartender Kyle Davidson for the Violet Hour, and you guys know where that is. It's in Chicago. All right, first thing we're gonna do is grab our glass here and put about 6 mint leaves into the bottom of our glass. We're gonna do 3/4 teaspoon of lime juice, 3/4 teaspoon of rich Demerara syrup. We're gonna do 1/4 ounce of green chartreuse, everybody's favorite alpine liqueur, 1 ounce light rum, and then we're gonna do 1 ounce of Chinar here. Give the mint a light press. Just double strain this real quick into our glass. And a nice mint sprig to garnish it with. The Art of Choke. The French Pearl was created by bartender Audrey Saunders in 2006 for her bar, the Pegu Club. It is basically a South Side that's been Frenchified with Pernod. So first things first, we're gonna do 6 to 10 mint leaves and just give that a light muddle, just pressing out the oils. And we are gonna do 3/4 ounce of lime juice. And then we're gonna do 3/4 ounce of 1:1 simple syrup. And then we're gonna do 1/4 ounce of our Pernod Pastis, and then 2 ounces of your favorite London dry gin. And we're gonna give it a strain. And then to garnish, we're just gonna take a little mint leaf here, give it a slap, and put it on top like so, the French Pearl. One of the very first Manhattan variations named after a New York neighborhood, the Greenpoint, was created by bartender Michael McElroy around 2005 for Milk and Honey. 1 dash of Angostura bitters, 1 dash of orange bitters, 1/2 ounce of sweet vermouth, 1/2 ounce of yellow chartreuse, 2 ounces of rye whiskey. I always like to use 100 proof rye. I like the bigger flavor profile. So give this a nice stir, approximately 45 seconds, but you can take a look on the outside of the glass and see that it's frosting. Keep in mind that when you're using ice directly out of the fridge, it's pretty dry. It doesn't have a lot of surface water on it, so it'll be very hard to over dilute this cocktail when stirring. So you could stir it for a full 2 minutes and it wouldn't really make that much of a difference. Then we're just gonna strain it into our glass like so. This cocktail gets a lemon twist. Spritz it over our cocktail, make sure you get all those nice oils on there. The Greenpoint. The Mezcal Mule was created by Jim Meehan, legendary bartender who co-created and previously co-owned PDT, which is a bar in New York City called Please Don't Tell. This recipe calls for a specialized version of ginger. It's not really ginger syrup. It's a thing called ginger wort. So to make the ginger wort, you're gonna need like a small container. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of minced ginger. Add in 1.5 cups of boiling water, and then we're just gonna cover this and let it sit for 90 minutes. So once your 90 minutes is up, this is what you're gonna have, and we're going to strain, and then we're going to put the ginger pieces in here. And we're just gonna press it to just release as much of the liquid as we possibly can. Then we're just gonna add in 20 grams of light brown sugar. You know, of course you wanna fully dissolve it. And then we're gonna do 3/8 of an ounce of lime juice. And there you have your ginger wort. All right, so for the cocktail, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1/2 an ounce of agave, 3/4 of an ounce of passion fruit puree, 1 ounce of our ginger wort. And for the passion fruit, make sure you use puree, not syrup. You want it to be tart, not sweet. 4 cucumber slices. I'm gonna mash up those cucumber slices. And last but certainly not least, I'm gonna do 1.5 ounces of mezcal. Add some ice. We're gonna add some ice to our glass and give this guy a nice hard shake. And then we're going to strain into our glass, garnish with a couple cucumber slices, and then a pinch of chili or cayenne. The Mezcal Mule. Eeyore's Requiem was an early menu cocktail at Chicago's Violet Hour. It was created by Milk and Honey alum Toby Maloney. 1.5 ounces of Campari, 1 ounce Dolan Blanc vermouth, 1/2 ounce of gin, 1/4 ounce Cynar, 1/4 ounce Fernet, 1 dash of Ango, and 1 dash of Regan's bitters. Crack that first cube. Crack that second cube, add some more ice in, and give it a stir, about 45 seconds. And give this a nice orange twist. Kind of a delicate peel, Maris. The Eeyore's Requiem. The Jasmin was created by bartender Paul Harrington at the Townhouse Bar in Emeryville, California. So in our tin, we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 1/4 ounce Campari, 1/4 ounce Cointreau, 1.5 ounces of gin. And give it a strain. All right, give it a little lemon twist. The Jasmin. Created by legendary bartender Dick Bradsell in London around 1984, we're gonna add in 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 an ounce of simple syrup, 2 ounces of gin. Scotia pebble ice in the tin. Shake until the pebble ice is gone. And we're just going to ungated pour right into the glass. Fill with pebble until it's just about full. And 1/2 an ounce of our creme de mure. We're just going to put it on top like so. Give this guy a snow cap. And I also like to do a little lemon peel zest. We're gonna discard the zest. The Bramble. The Kill Devil was created by Aaron Williams for the Pegu Club in New York City. 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. 1/4 of an ounce of rich Demerara syrup, 1/2 an ounce of green chartreuse, and 2 ounces of Le Favorite agricole rum. Crack our first ice, crack our second ice, put some ice into our glass like so, and give it a whirl. Let's give it a little strain here. This cocktail does not disappoint. We're gonna take a lime coin like so, and we are going to squeeze the oils over the drink like so. Originally, this was Ray and Nephew. I don't have Ray and Nephew, so I'm using Rum Fire, but we're using some overproof Jamaican rum here, and we're gonna just put some on the peel like so. Bam, the Kill Devil. The cable car was created by Tony Abu Ghanem at the Starlight Room in San Francisco around 1996. Into our tin, we're gonna do 1 ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of curacao, 1/2 an ounce of simple syrup, 1.5 ounces of spiced rum. Now before we shake our cocktail, we're gonna rim this glass with a little cinnamon sugar. So take 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of grated cinnamon. We're just gonna take a spent side of the lemon here, and we're just gonna rub it on the outside, run the glass into the cinnamon sugar like so. Shake. Strain it into our glass, and we don't need a garnish. We've already garnished with our sugar. The cable car. The Cosmonaut was created by Sasha Petrosky of Milk and Honey. 3/4 an ounce of lemon juice, 2 ounces of gin, 1 heaping bar spoon of raspberry preserves. Give it a shake. And you are definitely gonna need to fine strain because the raspberry has seeds. The Cosmonaut. What do you get when you make a White Russian with aged rum? The Dominicana, a drink that emerged in the early days of Milk and Honey, somewhere around 2001. 1.5 ounces into a mixing glass, 1.5 ounces again into our mixing glass. It's always good to crack a piece, get some shards in there. Maybe we'll do another one. Grab some other ice pieces, put it in there. Don't be shy with your ice. Give it a nice stir for about 45 seconds. Then we're just gonna strain it. We're gonna take some heavy cream. I like to actually put little 1/4 ounce of simple syrup in here just to give it a little sweetness. And we're gonna expand it with a coil inside here so that it expands really fast. The trick is to not over whip it. So it should stand as like a bead on your finger. And then we're gonna layer this on top of the cocktail like so. A little chocolate on top. The Dominicana. The Bourbon Renewal is arguably Oregon-based bartender Jeffrey Morgenthaler's most popular drink. 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of creme de mure, and this is the house-made stuff, so click the link below if you want to know how to make it. And then 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, just 2 ounces of your favorite bourbon. I like to use the Old Forester 86. Just a nice shake. And strain. And for garnish, we're just gonna do a thinly sliced lemon, like so. The Bourbon Renewal. The Old Cuban was created by Audrey Saunders and answers the question, what if a mojito became a champagne cocktail? Put 6 to 8 mint leaves into the bottom of our tin. Then we're gonna do 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. I did this totally out of order. 1 ounce of lime juice, and 1.5 ounces of Bacardi 8. Give it a nice muddle. Bit of shake. Strain this into our glass like so. Top it up with some bubbles. And let's give this guy a slappy and the crushy pants. And we're just gonna clip this guy. The Old Cuban. The Maximillian Affair was created by Boston bartender Misty Kalkofen around 2008 at the Green Street Bar in the neighboring city of Cambridge, Massachusetts. It was like 4 blocks away from the house I grew up in, and I'm just tickled pink that a modern classic cocktail came from it. 1/4 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of Punta Mes, and then 1 ounce of everybody's favorite Saint Germain, 1 ounce of Mezcal using the Vita. Put some ice in our tin like so, and give it a nice shake. And then we're just gonna strain it. Now, you're not gonna get a lot of foam on this cocktail because it's only 1/4 ounce of juice. Take the twist and give it a spritz. There you have it, my friends, the Maximillian Affair. The Ginger Rogers was created by San Francisco bartender Marcovaldo Dionysos for the bar Absinthe in 1998. 4 to 6 mint leaves in the bottom of a glass, like so. And then we're going to add ginger syrup. We're just gonna give this a light press to release those mint oils. 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, and 1.5 ounces of gin. Give this a light stir. Add in a little bit of ginger beer before we put ice in so that we can get the effervescence all the way to the bottom of the cocktail, and add in a lot of ice. And give it another little stir here. And then we're gonna add a mint sprig and we're done. The Ginger Rogers. Before Jeffrey Morgenthaler created this expression of this cocktail, most people had a love-hate relationship with the Amaretto Sour. 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of 2-to-1 rich simple syrup, 3/4 of an ounce of high-proof bourbon, and then 1.5 ounces of Amaretto. And then we're gonna be doing an egg white. Give it a dry shake. And we're gonna be putting this into a smaller rocks glass. Hit it up with a lemon twist. Voila. Jeffrey Morgenthaler's Amaretto Sour. The Siesta was created by New York City bartender Katie Stipe for the Flatiron Lounge around 2006. 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of 1-to-1 simple syrup, 1/2 ounce of grapefruit, 1/4 ounce Campari, and 1.5 ounces of tequila blanco. Add ice to the tin, like so. Strain to a cocktail glass, like so. Lime wheel garnish. The Siesta. The Wibble was created by late, great British bartender Dick Bradsell. 1 ounce of grapefruit juice, 3/4 teaspoon of 2-to-1 simple syrup, 3/4 teaspoon of lemon juice, 3/4 teaspoon of creme de mure. And then we're gonna do 1 ounce of sloe gin and 1 ounce of London dry gin. Give us a nice hard shake. Give it a strain. And a lemon twist. There it is, the Wibble. The lemon drop was created by Norman J. Hobday at his bar Henry Africa in San Francisco sometime in the 1970s. 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of Cointreau. I'm gonna do a fat 1/4 ounce, but you can go up to 1/2 ounce of simple syrup here, and 1.5 ounces of vodka. Before we shake this cocktail, we're gonna have to rim it with some sugar. So I'm just taking the ends of a lemon here, rubbing it along the rim. I like to do about 1/4 of the glass. We're just going to roll it here. Let's get some ice up in here. Give it a shake. The lemon drop. Although there are a few stories about where the Long Island iced tea was created, the most credible is that it was first created by a guy named Robert Rosebud Butt while he was working in the bar at the Oak Beach Inn in Long Island in the 1970s. Apparently, the drink was made for a contest that Butt entered. 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, 1/2 ounce of Cointreau, or any orange liqueur really, 1/2 ounce of vodka, 1/2 ounce of gin, 1/2 ounce of white rum, and last but certainly not least, 1/2 ounce of tequila blanco. Give it a nice shake. So we just strain our cocktail like so, add some ice in, and then just little topper of Coke. And cut a little lemon wheel, stick it on our cocktail. There it is, guys, the Long Island iced tea. Nobody knows when or who invented the Midori Sour, but Midori itself was launched in 1978. 1 full ounce of lime juice, 2 ounces of Midori. We're gonna crack our egg and separate the white. 30-second or so dry shake. We're gonna do a big rock of ice, and we're gonna do a little cheater cube for dilution. And then we're just going to strain dehydrated lime wheels. So there it is, the 3-ingredient Midori Sour. The Piña Colada was created by Ramon Monchito Marrero at the Carib Hilton in San Juan, Puerto Rico. 1/4 ounce of lime juice, 1/2 ounce of cream of coconut, 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, 1 ounce of 100 proof Jamaican rum, 1 ounce of Puerto Rican rum. I'm gonna add in our ice here. And then we're just gonna add our cocktail into our glass, and then we're gonna add our pineapple fronds, the Piña Colada. There are many claims to the creation of the Cosmo. Whoever created it, it was a common drink order, as it's fairly obvious that the recipe was traveling around, but it didn't become a household name until it was featured on the hit show Sex and the City. 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of cranberry juice, 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau, and 1.5 ounces of our Absolute Citron. Give it a shake. And strain into our glass. Let's give this a little lemon twist. The Cosmo. The Black Manhattan was created in San Francisco by a bartender named Todd Smith in 2005. 1 dash of Angostura bitters, 1 dash of orange bitters, 1 ounce of Averna Amaro, 2 ounces of rye whiskey. I'm gonna take a big cube of ice here and we're gonna crack it. Just add some smaller cubes as well. Give it a stir. Take a cherry and we're just gonna drain the syrup off of it as much as possible. Stick that into the bottom of our glass and then strain our cocktail. The Black Manhattan. The Mr. Brown was created by Clover Club bartender Frankie Marshall around 2011. 1 dash of Angostura bitters, a bar spoon of vanilla syrup, 3/4 of an ounce of coffee liqueur, 2 ounces of bourbon. So we want to stir this for about 45 seconds. We're gonna do 1 orange twist. Mr. Brown. The Red Hook was created by Italian bartender Vincenzo Errico at Milk and Honey in New York City around 2003. 1/2 ounce of Punta Miss, 1/2 ounce of maraschino liqueur, and we're doing 2 ounces of rye whiskey, and I'm doing the 100 proof rye again. Give it the old stir down. Grab another cherry. We are going to strain. Make the Red Hook and enjoy it. The Elder Fashioned was created by Death & Company bartender Phil Ward in 2007. 2 dashes of orange bitters, 1/2 ounce of Saint Germain, 2 ounces of Plymouth Gin. And then we're just gonna add in our rock of ice like so, give it a stir. And then we're gonna do a grapefruit twist on this one. The Elder Fashioned. The Joy Division is another cocktail from New York City bartender Phil Ward. It was created in 2008 and do 3 dashes of absinthe, 1 ounce of dry vermouth, 1/2 ounce of Cointreau, 2 ounces of London Dry Gin. Give it a stir. And we're going to accessorize our Cointreau with a little orange twist. The Joy Division. The Dry Daiquiri. We're gonna do 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and the recipe calls for 1 dash of passion fruit syrup, so I don't know what a dash of syrup is. I'm just gonna call it a dribble drabble. We're gonna do a fat 1/4 of Campari, and then a fat 1 1/4 of lightly aged rum. Give it a shake. Strain it. It calls for a flamed orange twist and spritz. The Dry Daiquiri.
The Colonial Ties is a riff on the American Trilogy, another milk and honey cocktail. Rinse a glass with absinthe. I like to do it with an atomizer to get a nice even coat. Next, we're gonna add 1 rough cut sugar cube because that's what you'd have in colonial times. And then 4 dashes of orange bitters. Just a splash of soda water. And we're gonna muddle this into a paste. And you wanna make sure that you muddle it really well so that you dissolve some of the sugar and kind of make a very rich simple syrup, but that you still retain a little of its graininess. 1 ounce of rye whiskey. I like using this 100 proof rye because it's gonna stand up really well. Jamaican rum funk, and 1 ounce of Jamaican rum. Give it a stir. You wanna make sure to lift that ice up so you kind of whoosh the sugar underneath it to help dissolve a bit of it as well. Take a nice orange twist here, and we're gonna zest it over the drink like so. Colonial Ties. The breakfast martini was created by a London-based bartender named Salvatore Calabrese at a hotel called the Lanesborough. 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of Cointreau, 1.5 ounces of gin, 1 heaping bar spoons of jam. That's a lot of jam. And then we're gonna strain an orange twist. The breakfast martini, go make it right now. You know you want to. The Death Flip was created by a Melbourne, Australia-based bartender named Chris Highstead Adams, and he created it for a bar called the Black Pearl of simple syrup. And then we're gonna add a whole egg, 1/2 ounce of Jägermeister, 1/2 ounce of yellow chartreuse, and 1 ounce of Blanco tequila. We're gonna give this a dry shake to combine it, although you're not gonna get any of the foamy, kind of meringue style thing that you would get with a normal egg white cocktail, because this is a full egg and the proteins inside the yolk don't let that happen. And we're gonna add 1 big rock of ice for texture, a cheater cube for dilution, and we're gonna shake it again. Give this the old double strain, nutmeg on top, the Death Flip. So the Ellison is a cocktail created by a New York City bartender named Charles Hardwick at a place called Blue Owl. 3/4 ounce of lime juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, a couple dashes Angostura bitters, 4 to 5 mint, 3 cucumber slices, 1.5 ounces of Hendrick's, and we're just gonna give this a light muddle. Fill our tin with ice here. Give it a strain. Voila, the Ellison. The Garibaldi is an Italian cocktail named after Giuseppe Garibaldi, an Italian revolutionary that played a central role in the unification of Italy. New life was breathed into it by a New York City bartender named Naren Young at a restaurant called Dante, where he created his fluffy juice technique for this cocktail, and now I see it on the internet all the time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a tin here, and then we're just gonna put our orange juice into there like so. You wanna make sure that you use a milk frother that is very powerful. We're gonna put some ice in it. We're gonna do 2 ounces of Campari and around 4 ounces of juice. And to garnish, just a little 1/2 an orange wheel, the Garibaldi. The Trident was created by bartender Robert Hess in 2002, and it's one of those rare cocktails that works in an equal parts format, just like a Negroni. When you see the ingredients, you're gonna wonder how these all work, but they do, and they do brilliantly. 2 dashes of peach bitters, 1 ounce of Cynar, 1 ounce of Aquavit, and 1 ounce of Fino Sherry. But if you don't have Fino but have Manzanilla, that will work as well. Give it a stir. Strain. And then garnish with a lemon twist. The Trident. El Pepino is a margarita riff that doesn't really have any definitive creation details. First thing we're gonna do here is grab a plate and some tahini and spread it out like so. And you wanna make sure to spread it out kind of evenly. Go around the glass, and then we're just gonna roll our tahini. 1 ounce of lime juice, 3 cucumber slices, 3 jalapeno slices, 3/4 ounce of agave, 1.5 ounces of tequila blanco, and strain. There it is, El Pepino. The 1910 was created by former Boston area bartender Ezra Starr. 2 dashes of Peychaud's bitters, 1/2 ounce of maraschino liqueur, 3/4 ounce of Espadín mezcal, 3/4 ounce of cognac, and 1 ounce of Punta Mes, which is an Amaro vermouth blend, and you need to refrigerate it. Give it a stir.
We're gonna strain it. Always use a chilled glass. And we're gonna do an orange twist. So there it is, guys, the 1910. The Bitter Italian was created by myself at Cole's French Dip in 2013, and it was created because a customer came in and they say like, oh, I went to Chicago and I had this great drink. It was just all made out of bitters and it was just so good. I thought about it and then I like shook up a prototype that would eventually become this drink, the Bitter Italian. Half an ounce lemon juice, half an ounce of maraschino liqueur, 3/4 of an ounce of Aperol, and 1.25 ounces of Amaro Chichiaro. Spirits are regional products, and sometimes it's hard to find these specific products, but what's kind of great about the template of this drink is that you can sub out the maraschino liqueur for pretty much any maraschino liqueur. The Amaro Chichiaro is a proprietary flavor because it is an Amaro with the blend of very specific botanicals in it, but you can do this cocktail with Amaro Nonino, and it's gonna taste great. And Aperol, of course, is one of those red aperitif liqueurs. There are many different brands that have various levels of sugar, various levels of bitterness, and you can play with switching these ingredients out, different Amari, different aperitif, different maraschino or cherry liqueurs to come up with your own riff on this cocktail. Double strain it like so. Lemon twist, just get that fresh lemon, discard it, and then we're gonna take these guys here and give it a nice dehydrated lemon. And what a lot of people think about dehydrated just citrus wheels in general is that, oh, it's like it looks nice and it's a nice sustainable garnish. But really this is a functional garnish because if you smell it, you get this really nice, vibrant, citrusy tea style scent. And since your sense of flavor is dominated by your sense of smell, really, actually, if you don't smell, you don't taste that much. 85 to 90% of your sense of flavor comes from your nose. And so when you have something like this and you're sipping it and smelling it at the same time, you're kind of adding in that flavor profile without adding anything into the body of the cocktail, so you don't need to rebalance it, but you have another flavor profile manipulating the end result. So there you have the Bitter Italian. Oh my God, guys, there it is, 50 modern classic cocktails. If you go interview for a bartending job and you know these cocktails, you are way ahead of the game. That's partially why I made this. I also made it because I wanted people to know classics, and then I also wanted people to know all of the great, easy to make modern classic cocktails as well. So I hope you guys learned from this video and don't drink them all at once. If you want to check out our website, theeducatedbarfly.com, we've got a bunch of new products there, new t-shirts, and then we're also doing some dehydrated citrus as well to help you guys with your garnishing needs. So go check those out, and I'll see you guys in another time. Today's episode is sponsored by ourselves. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. One of the most important things about cocktails is their presentation. And your garnish game can really make or break that presentation. So Marius and I decided that we wanted to start making some dehydrated fruit to garnish cocktails. Not only are they beautiful to look at, they're pretty long lasting, and they're functional garnishes in that they have aroma that you can add to your cocktail without unbalancing the cocktail, but just adding a little je ne sais quoi to it. So obviously we're doing limes, we're doing lemons, we're doing oranges, we're doing blood oranges, and we're doing dragon fruit. All of our citrus are organic, they're sourced locally, and this is a really good way to help the channel. The garnishes are made in small batches, they're essentially made to order, and although we're starting with, you know, the usual suspects, the really simple lemon, lime, orange, blood orange, we hope to expand into some less common, harder to get fruits, and then on top of that, we'll have some seasonal offerings for you guys. So if you guys have any suggestions for things you'd like to see, definitely let us know. So head to the shop, and no coupon code needed because they're amazingly priced and it helps the channel.